Hello everybody, this is Professor Hill, and this is a short video for our class, Introduction to Ethics, Philosophy 2306 here at St. Philip's College. Today is Tuesday, the 11th of September 2018. We're looking at Chapter 1 in our textbook, Doing Ethics by Louis Vaughn. Now we're at the very end of that chapter. This is the last section. It's on religion and morality. I want to talk a little bit about that, and then also our case study. I know people are working on their essays for the case study. And again, I had a couple of questions about this. Literally just write it up and copy and paste that thing right into the discussion, right? Where it says reply, send it right in there. That way, after you post yours, you can go through and see the other students and comment on at least 2 of the other essays that are in there. So, back to Chapter 1, Religion and Morality. It turns out that our textbook raises a number of issues, but it starts with this. It starts by saying that for most people, their sense of morality, their beliefs about good and bad, right and wrong, are shaped by their religious experiences. And I think that that's right. I think that there are very many people who their religion and their religious experience plays a major role in the shaping of their morality, their moral values and ethics. So he talks about some problems with that. And he talks about conflicts between religions, conflicts within religion. And he keeps coming back to this theme that reason still needs to play a primary role in there. Even if your morality is being shaped by faith, when there's conflicts, he says you need to go to reason to sort these things out. Now, he's very optimistic that you can do that. And it turns out that he's got a lot to say about how reason allows us to have a public discourse around the conflicts that we see in terms of varying morality from person to person and especially culture to culture. Now, I want you to think about this as we get and look at our case studies, we get closer to the weekend. I want you to think about your personal sense of morality, your beliefs, your values in terms of making difficult ethical decisions. Where did those things come from? And what are they? Are they values? Are they rules and principles that you're applying to a particular situation? If they are rules and principles, did they come from your religion? Are they larger than just your religion? Obviously, what we're going to see is that there's lots of people who have a serious, well-developed sense of morality who that is not tied to any particular religion. They're atheists, they're agnostic, but they are strongly humanistic in their values. They believe in right and wrong, good and bad, and their foundation is on a set of values or principles, but they're just not tied to and informed by a faith tradition. Now, we're going to see all kinds of conflicts as we go through the rest of this semester. And it starts with an example like the Jenny Lake case. And this is what I mean by that. I posted in the Canvas page a section, kind of like a sandbox, where people could talk, ask questions about the Jenny Lake case, and do that before having to submit their more formal essay into the discussion. And here's the question of the day, which is, let's say that you look at this difficult situation. Jenny's got a choice to make. Should she continue her treatment, even though it'll end the pregnancy? Should she stop her treatment in the hopes that that will somehow give the pregnancy a chance to develop and give her baby a fighting chance to grow, develop, mature, be born? It's really a difficult case because it's an either or. You can't have your cake and eat it too with this one. And so what she does is she decides to stop her treatment and have the baby. Now, let's say that you agree with her. And I asked you why. Why do you think that's a good decision? And let's say, well, look, it's an objective principle. It's a rule that what you can do is observe the mama bear out there protecting the cubs. This is what parents do. They sacrifice for their children. They protect their children. All Jenny's doing is following that basic, fundamental, natural, objective rule that parents take care of their children. They'll sacrifice for them, even up to and including their lives. And so when I apply that principle to the case study, I think to myself, well, look, Jenny did the right thing. She sacrificed herself for her child. Okay, but here's the problem with that approach. The approach of saying, I've got a rule, and the rule, I'm going to apply it to this case, and I get the right answer. And that's the issue I talked about at the end of last week, which is that Jenny's only 17. The decision maker in this case is her mother. So let's apply the rule to Jenny's mom. Jenny's mom says, Jenny, you're my daughter. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to insist that you continue your treatment to save your life. If you and your boyfriend want to have other kids later, start a family down the road, that's one thing. But right now, you need to continue your life-saving medical treatment. So I'm overruling your interest and stopping the treatment and saying you have to, and I'm just going to force it on you, even if you don't like it, even if it is difficult for our relationship. I don't care. I've got to suck it up and do the hard thing and insist. And you can see that suddenly there's a big difference. If you apply that rule, mothers take care of their children, to Jenny's mom, she says, continue your treatment. If you apply it to Jenny, then Jenny says, I'm going to stop my treatment to save the baby. So it's not just having rules, but also about how and when and to whom to apply rules. And what's the rationale there? Even if there wasn't a legal requirement, what's the moral aspect to that? Which one do you think, from an ethics point of view, that kind of rule should apply to, Jenny or Jenny's mom? You get two different outcomes when you do that. So it's worth considering that it's not just about having a set of rules. And he talks about this at the end of chapter 1, about how religions give us a set of rules a lot of times to follow. And he talks about the divine command theory and the problem with that. And again, those last 2 or 3 pages, he's laying out lots of difficult issues. And what I want us to do is not just get lost in the concepts, but think about these things and wrestle with them by applying them to a real live case that happened, which was sadly Jenny Lake. Again, it's a terrible case, doesn't end well. That's all there is to it. But what does it teach us about the foundation of our own sense of morality? Where does that come from? Who shaped that? What's it based upon? Rules and principles and the problems you have with applying them? Our family and societal values and the problems we have on that side of the fence? You're going to see that it's a seesaw that's going to go back and forth. And a lot of times we're going to feel like we're stuck out in the middle. So, and I'm sure Jenny did. I'm sure Jenny felt like she was trapped in the middle of a terrible decision. But these are the things I want you to think about and write about and put into that discussion on Jenny Lake, discussion number 1, due this weekend. All right, take care. Let me know if you need anything. Bye-bye.